Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about to discover your kingdom destiny. And we're coming to you from Psalms 138:8. And it says, the Lord will fulfill his purpose for you. For me is what it says. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the work of your hands. Today, y'all, in this kingdom workshop, what you're going to learn is purpose creates a vision, and vision produces the goals, and goals are will determine the necessary steps towards your desired ends. And they also dictate partners, decision choices, priorities, and provide a measure of progress. So that means that goals are ultimately very, very important. See, a kingdom plan incorporates and unifies the designated steps towards the efficient fulfillment of your purpose. So as you come on today, we want you to say hello so we can say hello back to you. Let us know where you are tuning in from, what type of business you have, what type of business you're looking at getting started, and why do it with biblical principles. Now, I probably know the answer to that, but I am definitely going to ask you that question. You can go ahead and drop those in the comments. And don't forget to share, guys. If you know someone, or go ahead and tag them if you know someone who needs to hear what we're talking about. And just a reminder to let you know, we're talking about living out your kingdom business and life purpose here. We're not talking about a mere wish, but creating a reality from an inspired idea. Your purpose is absolutely life-changing. It's a God-given appointment to do something bigger than ourselves. In John 15:16, Jesus said, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you." And so I want you to always focus on being after that lasting crown. It says, "Therefore, I do not run without a definite goal. I do not flail around like one beating the air, just shadow boxing, but like a boxer, discipline my body and making it my slave, so that after I preach the gospel to others, I myself will not somehow be disqualified as unfit for service." And that's from 1 Corinthians 9:26 through 27. Guys, the purpose of us coming here each and every Thursday is to help you build a business with biblical principles. I mean, think about it. What if you could build a 6, 7, 8-figure business around your gift, around your skill, around your expertise or experience, and the resources that you need to help you grow a business is found right in the pages of the Bible. And that's what we want to help you discover. So as you come on again, you can say hello, and so we could say hello back to you. And also, let's do a check and let me know if you can hear me okay, and if everything's good. You can put that in the comment section there. I'm gonna have to click to comments and see if there's any there that I see. I don't see any, but just let me know as you come in if you are hearing me okay and if everything is okay. Because today, y'all, we want to give you another irresistible message from our Kingdom Business workshop series provided by Bible Business Academy. And at any time, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com to learn more about our global organization. I'm your host, Cathy McReynolds, and our goal is to help you build your business so you can get time freedom, debt freedom, and financial freedom. See, we transform entrepreneurs into kingdom leaders with the sole purpose of growing the kingdom and fulfilling God's original purpose. We believe that this message today will equip you to grow in your faith and your finances while advancing your life and business as you discover your purpose and pursue it with passion. So if you're ready to discover your purpose and pursue it with passion, make sure you go ahead and drop that in the comments. Y'all ready to get everything started here? And I also want to tell you, if you stick around to the end, we're going to share with you how you can get some exclusive access to building a business with biblical principles. Also, we're going to share with you our summer special, depending on when you're catching this, that we have until July 6th, I believe it is. So we're going to tell you about that and how you can get some gifts sent out to you. And we want to just help you grow in your faith and finances. You know why? Because that's going to lead to more fun, freedom, and fulfillment. And the biggest fulfillment is at the end. If this is your first time tuning into us, I just want to give you a little background. I mean, you might be like, who is this girl? Why should I listen to her? I am from the Akron, Ohio area. I always say I grew up shy, shelter, and in church basically 6 days a week. And good evening, Jamie. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My mom was a minister, dad a football coach, left home at 19, lives in the DC, Baltimore, Boston, and Pittsburgh area. Author, international trainer, and coach. Man, I just love to see people win and to help people win as well. And that's why I always say I'm an introvert, but we're an action taker. Auntie to many, licensed financial advisor. And I've made six figures and lost it in several businesses. So we want to help you to be able to shorten your learning curve. And if you don't have a copy of our book or our planner, you can pick both of those up on Amazon. And we can definitely help you with that. So we're going to talk about the 5 most important questions to help you discover your kingdom destiny. And if you missed part 1, you want to make sure that you go catch that on YouTube. You can watch that on YouTube because we want you. We're picking up on part 2 here, so we want you to be able to catch that and get the answers to that, so that you can get an understanding on how to get fulfillment in your destiny. And when we talked about part 1, I'll just give you a little recap. The number 1 question that we ask is, should kingdom business leaders think about business for profit and wealth? So your answers are all on part 1. So make sure you go back and catch that. And also, while you're over there on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe so that we make sure that you make sure when we start doing more of these videos and different types of videos and training that you catch them. So here's question number 2. Y'all ready for question number 2? It is, how does your kingdom purpose give precision to building your kingdom business? I'm going to repeat that. It says, how does your kingdom purpose give precision to building your kingdom business? See, the first thing that we tell you is that you should create a syllabus based off your purpose. And that you might be like, syllabus, what are you talking about? Okay, so if you go to college, they give you a syllabus. Did you know that you should have your own personal syllabus for your business, for your kingdom development, for your faith, for your finances, like whatever you're doing in life? We all know what a syllabus is. So you want to have a syllabus for your business. And so here's the questions I ask you regarding that. Do you operate from a personal syllabus that organize your life and business schedule? And some people think of that as a planner. Yes, it could be a planner, but if you sit down, and that's one of the things that we help you do as well. If you just sit down and you put together your syllabus, it'll walk you through what you're going to do over the next semester or quarter or the next month. And the value of known purpose cannot be overestimated, for it is the foundation upon which people must build their life and business. And that's why it's important to have something on paper, and we do it in the form of a syllabus for you. See, life and business with purpose is precise and directed. It allows you to wake up every single morning confident that you know what you're supposed to do with that day. Does anyone just wake up and wonder, what do I do today? If that's you, that's why you got to get the syllabus in order so that you can have that. See, life without purpose is depressing, it's frustrating, and much needless energy is expended and much time is wasted when you don't have a plan. And it says that people don't fail for not having that vision, they just fail for having a lack of plan. So as you move from one activity to another without a plan, you may seem busy, you may seem like you're getting a lot of things done, but you're not focused. And if you're not focused, you're not going to be fierce and you're not going to make things happen. So operating from a kingdom purpose has this organization value because it provides a vision and it motivates a plan of action to meet specific goals. Even, you think about the word, there is nothing in the word that's done without, out of order. So you got to make sure that you are in order and you have the things that you need. See, the 29th chapter of the book of Proverbs states, where there is no vision, the people perish. And that's Proverbs 29:18. So when you think about that, that is a crucial part of you developing your kingdom purpose and understanding that. The New International Version translates this verse as follows. It says, where there is no revelation, the people cast off restraint. This is true because a kingdom purpose provides a reason for existence. See, when you know what your purpose is, it gives you a reason for existing, and you get up every single day knowing what you need to do or putting a plan in place, or if you're working with someone, it allows you all to be able to get through that. And it encourages maximize performance towards an intended result. So if you get into business, you want to finish that business, right? You definitely want to make that happen. So this is why it's important to put all of this stuff in place and have a plan for it. See, a kingdom purpose is a predetermined destination. It's just not something you're going to say, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. No, it's predetermined. You have to know that you know that you know. And you might be thinking, well, I have no idea what that is. That's okay. We will help you to find that. See, God has already given us the end toward which something exists. You want to always begin with the end in mind, and anything you do, like he says, you know, I know the plans that I have for you. He already knows that. So all we're doing is going through that journey. So in your mind, what you want to do is go back to the start after seeing the outcome. But that's important. Like that vision, you have to have a vision. You have to clearly see what you're called to do. You got to clearly see your business. Now, if you're watching this, that means that you have an interest in having a business, or you already have one and you want to operate it the way God says we should operate it. So that's why you're on here. So it's important for you to see that. And that means you got to write things out. You got to draw things out. You got to visualize it. You should be able to see everything before it happens. And when you know the desired end, before you begin that journey, you are much more likely to stick with your task and stay on the prescribed path. So if you're that person who says, man, I never, I'll start something and I won't finish it, and it never gets done, it's right there. Do you have a vision? Do you know what it's going to look like? Are you looking at it mentally in your mind? Do you have it written down? Are you waking up looking at it? Are you looking at it in midday? Are you looking at it when things are going good or when things are going bad? Are you looking at it before you go to bed? See, it's these little things that people don't talk about that really get you to success. These are the things that have kept me going for 27 years of not working with it for anyone, except for that exception of 2008, when I told you guys for 1 year and a couple months, it's the only time I've had a job in 27 years, is because of that vision of knowing where you want to go, of knowing what you want to do. It's important for you to have that. See, vision, that direct vision and that purpose, and providing the information that you need to go into that vision and knowing what it looks like. And it's not for everyone else to know what it looks like. It's for you to understand what it looks like. But that's going to give you direction. It's going to give you a sense of purpose. It's going to help give you action steps. See, apart from kingdom purpose, direction is lacking and nothing of importance happen. So if you don't have a kingdom purpose, you don't have a direction, you don't have a vision, nothing is going to happen. So we want to change that. Is that making sense? Let me know if you're getting this, if that is making sense to you. You drop that in the comments. Let me know. It says it is important to define vision in order to understand your purpose. So that's why we're spending time today on defining what vision is, because in order for you to understand your purpose, you have to know what that means. The most common understanding of vision is seeing. We used to say you got to see it before you seize it. See, vision is more than seeing, for it moves beyond your physical sight. And although the Greek word optica, from which we get words optical and optician, both of which deal with the eyes, is sometimes used in the New Testament to refer to vision. Hezons, the most common Hebrew word for vision, means both to see and coming into being. And that's the key right there. You have to be able to see it and also seize it. It has to be coming into being. You have to know it's possible for you. And you're like, well, if I've never done it before, how do I know it's possible? Man, I'm telling you, if God gave you the vision, he will give you the provision. You just got to surround yourself by people who will help you to get there. That's why he said, don't forget the habit of meeting together so that you can have that encouragement in order to make that happen. And you also, most importantly, you need to have faith. You got to have that faith that just, and your faith will grow. That's part of what we help you with. But you have to know if somebody else did it, you can also do it as well. And thus, from a biblical perspective, vision is the ability to see the end from the beginning. You got to know what it looks like. Like if I take Bible Business Academy, for example, I see us in over 10 different countries where everything is translated in different languages. I see us having actual physical buildings where people come in to take these classes and lessons. I see us changing and impacting lives all over the world. That's what you have to do. You have to see it. You have to write it out. You have to visualize it. You have to feel it. And the more you do it and the more you stay in God's word and know what he said that he's going to do for you, the more you're going to believe it. And that's what you want to do for your business so that can happen to you, so that you can have what you need. See, vision, when you think about it from a kingdom perspective, I'm going to share with you guys what Webster Dictionary says. Webster defines vision as the ability to perceive something not actually visible. Okay, so it hasn't happened yet. It has not come. It's like having, your baby. You have a baby. Your wife or the husband knows that you're pregnant, right? Somebody's pregnant, right? And so the baby's going to be there, but you just don't see it yet. That's the same thing that you have to look at your business. Once that idea is implanted in you, now you got to take the necessary steps to carry it out. If you're pregnant, you got to take the steps to, eat right, take the right vitamins and all of that. I haven't had a baby, but y'all know what I mean, right? So guys out there, y'all understand, you know what I mean. That's what you have to do. You have the ability to perceive something not actually visible as through mental acuteness or keen foresight. So that means that you got to know that is possible for you. And when you know that is possible for you, you just keep going. You make it happen. And then that's where that syllabus or that roadmap that we're talking about, that we put together, and step by step, we help you get it. Because I hear a lot of people say, well, I want to start a business, or I want to do this, but I have no idea where to start. I don't know what the steps are. And you don't need to know that up front. What you need to know is what it looks like, what you want to happen. That's where you're going to start at. And then you have us here to help you with every step in order to make that happen. See, when we talk and you share your vision with us and you tell us what it looks like, then we get together and we put together that plan, step by step, to actually have that happen. It's just like an architect, right? We will help you architect that vision into a reality. And see, your vision shows you something that has not yet taken place, and it registers in your heart and mind. See, you got to feel that. You got to know that. You got to, like, everything about you have to say, yes, this is possible. And if you're not there yet, there's a reason why you're not there yet. It's called repetition. We don't have time to get into that today in forecasting. And that's what we sit down and help you with, because your vision is also unusual discernment or insight, since it presents a picture of the unseen and convinces you that it will come to pass. So through repetition, through words, through being around other like-minded people, through pictures and all of that stuff, this helps get your vision together. Vision never stands alone. It's never by itself. It always originates from a known purpose. So that's the exciting part about that. See, the primary value of your kingdom purpose is the translation of vision derived from purpose into a plan of action. Let me repeat that. The primary value of your kingdom purpose is the translation of vision derived from purpose into a plan of action. See, this occurs through the setting of specific goals. So that's part of what goes into your syllabus. That's part of what goes into your roadmap. Or you can break it down. That's what goes into your GPS. You know how when you tell the GPS the destination you want to go to, and then on the end of you can hit the button that says all the details. That's where we fill in all the details. Is that making sense to you guys? Let me know in the comments. Are you getting this? Is this making sense? See, the presence of your goals allows both the development of a plan and the effective use of energy. And all your daily efforts are put into the fulfillment of your kingdom purpose. And your kingdom purpose maximizes energy and gives time to meaning. If you're saying, oh, I'm tired, or I never have enough time, or I don't have the energy, that just means that you're not clear on that vision on what you need to do. Because when you know what you need to do, there's nothing that's going to stop you. You're going to have the energy. God is going to provide for you. Your kingdom purpose protects you from being busy and not getting anything done. You ever just like see people so busy, but they accomplish nothing? Or maybe that's something you've experienced as well. It's because you don't have that clear vision and you don't have those steps that you need in order to make things happen. See, I want you to learn to embrace the journey as you discover your kingdom purpose. It's not always pretty. It's not always exciting. Like, for example, you guys see me here today, and normally I have my PowerPoint slides with me. Yes, and they're right in front of me. But however, I was having computer challenges again. And I'm like, you know what? Not today. We're going to go live and we're going to do this. So it's probably looking different, but I'm here on my phone going live with my slides on my laptop right in front of me. And they were great looking slides there. But and if you want a copy of those, you can just let me know. We'll get those out to you so that you can see that. But see, you got to embrace the journey. Whether things are going good or whether things are going bad, you got to know why you're doing what you're doing. And you don't stop for any reason. See, kingdom purpose that is translated into a vision cause things to happen and to cause people to act. It gets you into action. It's just like if you had your first love, or you fell in love with somebody, you acted, you made phone calls, you did things to get their attention, right? And if they said no, you didn't give up. If it was somebody that you just really, really, really wanted to be with. That's how your business has to be. That's when you know it's your purpose, because you just won't, it won't let you rest. It won't let you rest. All right, Miss Jackie, we'll get those out to you. It will not let you rest so that you can get this. And this is true because purpose creates vision. That's why it's so important to get your vision. And vision produces goals. And goals permit the development of a plan. And a plan allows for an orderly and exciting journey. And that's the key right there. You have to have an orderly and exciting journey. And again, Jesus said, who of you will build the tower without counting the cost and having a plan in place? And everything that's in the word is in order, and that's what you have to do. Now, sometimes you got to do what I'm doing, right? You just have to figure out a way to make things happen, even when things are going against you, to get them done, but you still got to make it happen. You definitely got to make that happen. The realization of a goal through the implementation of a plan will take you from your present position to the desired end. And that vision, y'all, that vision of completing your kingdom purpose before filling it is so super important. I hope I got that to you, that it is so super important in order for that to happen. See, it's important to have goals on the way to your kingdom purpose. They are important steps towards the attainment of your larger kingdom purpose. It creates priorities, it determines decisions, it dictates companions, and predict choices. So even when you have, what you want to do, you have all of that in place, even your business partners or where you need to have stuff, all of that stuff is based on that vision that you need to see, that you need to have, and it has to be written on paper. And every day you may be adjusting that, or you have your weekly adjusting session, but you know where you're going. It's just no different than if you have the ingredients to bake a cake that you've never baked before. You can't just have some of the ingredients to get it to come out like mom and them did, right? You got to have all of the ingredients. And that's why together they form the perfect flight plan to the desired destination. You have to have that. So I want you to seek to find a clear kingdom purpose for your business. And before you start your business and get your customers, or hit your first six figures or hit your first millions, you have to have a clear purpose. I speak with a lot of people and they're like, oh, I want to make, a six-figure income, or I want to make X amount of money a month. And then the next question I'm going to ask is, okay, how much is your product? How many of that do you need to sell in order to make that happen? And a lot of people have no idea of how to break down those numbers. And so that's important for you to break down all of that stuff in order to understand your vision, to know exactly what you need to do. And when you have that clear understanding of your products, your service, or whatever it is that you're offering, and you have it written down and you have the vision, and people say you have to have a business plan. Yes, we're taking that business plan to that next level, to that kingdom level, because when you put that purpose around it and you break it down, it just takes it to a whole new level, and it gives birth to a vision that leads to the setting of goals. See, if you don't set goals and you don't have goals set down, that means that you don't have a clear vision. That means that you don't know what you need to do in order to make things happen, and you don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan, it's not going to happen. And you may be wondering why you're where you're at, or what's keeping you stuck is these little things that we're talking about right now that can stop you from living out your vision and having that business that you desire. And when you have that desire to solve the problem, okay, here, this is key. I want y'all to get this. When you have that desire to solve the problem that God has assigned for you to solve, and take care of the people he has assigned for you to take care of, you become focused, because it's not about you. It's about what God has assigned you to do. And when you know that and on our YouTube channel, we got, the signs that God is calling you to start a business. So you can go watch that. But business is about solving problems. So your purpose, the reason why God picks and chooses us is like Jesus came here for a purpose, right? Noah was for a purpose. Everybody had a purpose, and so do you. He didn't stop that purpose. Everybody who's here has a purpose for him. And once you know and understand what that purpose is, you just, because you love him so much, you're like, I just gotta do what he wants me to do. So you can hear that, well done, my good and faithful servant, right? That's the key. And as the one who has been chosen, because he chose you, right? He chose you. So as the one who have been chosen to carry out your predestined kingdom purpose, you want to consider all the possibilities, both good and bad, as you start and scale your kingdom business. So it's so important, y'all, for you to know it's not about you. I just want to get that in your head. Like, just put in there, it is not about me. It is about what God wants me to do. And if I know that he wants me to do this, I know I got to figure out a way to get it done, and he's going to help me with that. So your kingdom purpose will lead to others buying into your vision. Listen, you don't have to worry about trying to find people, right? When you're operating in what God has called you to do, he's going, and you go do the things that you need to do, right? He's going to put the right people in front of you. He's going to send them to you. But if you're not, you go back to the talents, you can listen to, I think it was 2 weeks ago, you can listen to the part 1 on this, where we talked about the talents. It explains it all in there. If you just take and bury the gifts and the desire and what he said for you to do, then it's not going to happen. Right? Not about me, it's about what God's wanting me to do. That's right, Jackie. Say it louder for the people in the back, right? See, you are fueled by your kingdom purpose and that accompanying vision. So if you're like, you rather scroll through Facebook, or you rather watch a movie, or you rather go do something else besides this business that you think God has called you to do, it's not in you yet. And you got to get it in you. And you got to be crystal clear that that's what you're being called to do. And don't worry, like if you don't know what it is or you understand it, that's why we hop on strategy calls, so that we can help you discover that. Now, it's our, and let me just be clear on that. We don't tell you what it is. We're just going to ask you some questions about what God has been saying to you, because he has a personal relationship with everybody, right? So he's going to let you know. We're just going to help bring that out. See, God is the originator of your vision and will call in trusted friends and colleagues with whom you should share your thoughts with. So you shouldn't share it with everybody. Just like think about when Nehemiah went to build that wall, when he didn't tell everybody about what was happening. He had to go out and survey the area first. So you don't have to tell everybody about it, because everybody's not going to get it. And a lot of people will discourage you from living out that vision that God has for you, because they don't understand and they're thinking you're crazy. Because I'm telling you, when it's a purpose for him, it's something so big that you yourself like, man, I can't do this. Like me, like sometimes I'll be like, me, you want me to do this? And if you have that feeling like, okay, like, all right, I'm gonna do it, I'm scared, but I'm gonna make it happen because you said it and I believe what you say, it changes things. And then eventually he's going to cause others to catch that vision for your assigned kingdom purpose. And that's what I want you to get. It's your assigned kingdom purpose of the problem you were assigned to solve. That's what business is. Business, yes, you're going to make money with business, but business is about solving problems. Like with Bible Business Academy, what the problem we're solving here is we're helping people grow in their faith and finances so that they can live out what God is calling them to do. Now, this wasn't something I wanted to do. This was something that got implanted in me in 2020, and I kept like, no, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me. And then finally, because of, it was just so heavy in me to do it, I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna do this. And it wasn't easy, because I wasn't that person who talked about my religion. Or let me rephrase that, because you guys know what I mean when I say religion, because religion has taken a lot of people off track. But understanding what God wants me to do, knowing what my purpose is, until I started meditating on his word, and day and night, afternoon, and just saying, okay, I could have never put this thought in me, so it had to be you. And that's what I want you to look at. What are some of the things that he's saying to you that you need to do? In Psalms 12:2, he says, my help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. So that's what I need you to understand, that your help will come from the Lord, and he is the reason, and he gets all the glory. We're just here to help you. Your goals, it will encourage the development of a plan towards your kingdom business purpose. That's why goals are so important. You have to have goals. You have to have those written down, and having a vision and receiving what you have in vision are two very different things. They're guided by their shared vision. The entrepreneurs and the partners set goals for their business together. They determine what the website or the building will be like, or what services will be offered, what the desired profit margin will be, and who will take responsibility for each. And that's when you're partnering up with someone. So your vision and receiving what you have envisioned, I just want you to know they're two different things. So we're going to keep moving on that. Goals encourage the development of a plan towards your kingdom purpose. So we talked about vision, now we're into goals. And as these goals develop into a detailed plan, so vision, like you see it, like it's there. And now once you see it, now we got to roll it back and step back. And now we're putting together goals. So on this day, we need to have, our research done. On this day, we need our website done. On this day, we need our value ladders and our stacking. And this day, we need to do the advertisings and all of that stuff. So it's broken down. And we have a 10-week program on this where we break it down for you. And every single week, those are the goals that you get in order to make your vision come true. Make sense? And the person responsible for each facet of the business will set goals for that specific area of operation. So just because something needs to be done doesn't mean you have to do it. So maybe you're not good with writing, so you hire a copywriter. Maybe you're not good with video, so you hire video. Maybe you're not even good on camera. Like we have the I Love Going Live. We haven't done that in a couple years, but we have that challenge to help people go live and get used to the camera. Maybe you're not used to it, so you need coaches in that area. So everything that needs to be done in order for your purpose business to be what it it's meant to become, excuse me, y'all, you don't have to be the one to do it. But part of the goal could be hiring someone to do it. It could be getting interns for someone to do it. It could be learning it if it's something that you want to learn. And that's the beauty of this. You get to decide, okay, I don't like doing that and I will never like doing that. So you hire someone to do that. So you can break that down. So don't ever let your vision be derailed by you not having enough experience or you feeling intimidated by not being able to complete something, because that's where God will put the partners in there. You will do the exact same thing. And just also always, always, always include God as your partner for whatever you're doing every single day. Okay, God, when I wake up in the morning, it's like, good morning, God. Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Holy Spirit. You're like, what do you want me to do today? Direct my steps today. You just got to make that a habit and learn to start listening to what he's saying for you to do, and then go make it happen, right? Your kingdom purpose goals will dictate who partners with you. First, you set your primary and secondary goals. So you're going to have big goals and little goals. That's your primary and your secondary goals. And plans are then developed to meet each objective. So it's like if you're driving and you want to go on a trip, right? So you already know where you want to go. You probably have already, so once you know your destination of where you're going to go, then you're going to decide how you're going to get there. You're going to decide where you're going to stay at. You're going to get an Airbnb or you're going to get a hotel. Those are like your primary goals. And some of your secondary goals may be like where you're going to go eat at, what entertainment you're going to have. And so if you break it down like that, that's what you would be looking at in terms of your primary and your secondary goals. Plans are then developed to meet each objective. So now you might put together a plan and say, okay, so I want to make this happen, and we're going to need, $5,000 for the trip, or $3,000, or whatever the case is. And then, so that's a plan. That's part of your budget. And God is definitely your best business partner. And as the kingdom business leaders chosen by God, it is now your responsibility to seek those people who can help you accomplish your kingdom purpose. He will put people in your path, but you also got to talk to people. You got to reach out to people. And to some of you, that might be the scariest thing, or it might be the thing that's stopping you from moving because of fear of rejection or fear of talking to people, or you think you're selling something. And when you're thinking that way, as I always say, I want you to check yourself before you wreck yourself. But what you're thinking about is you. You're not thinking about working out God's purpose. So anytime that you get that feeling of being overwhelmed or being afraid or have that fear, I want you to say to yourself, okay, stop it now, because I'm thinking from me instead of from what God wants me to do. He did not give me a spirit, of being timid. He gave us a spirit of being courageous and getting things done. So he will help you through that. But you have to be the one who constantly remind yourself of these things. This is why he says, meditate on his word day and night. This is where, they call them affirmations. I call them faithformations, because you just take scriptures and you just say them over and over again. You have them written out. You have them in front of you. And these are the little things, okay? Because you can have a great vision, but unless you change, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, unless you renew your mind and the way you think, you won't get things accomplished. And part of that is having vision, having goals, having primary goals, having secondary goals, and so that you can get the things done. So you want to be guided by your desire to please God first and work for him and not people. Let me repeat that. You want to be guided by your desire to please God first and work for him and not for people. So with that being said, when you need to do something, you're going to say, okay, is this pleasing to God? Or me not talking to this person and helping them with that problem because I'm fearful that they're going to reject me, or I'm fearful that they're going to say that they don't have the money, or I'm fearful that they're going to, whatever they're going to do, then that means that you're working for people. So all you have to do is be aware of it. And once you're aware of it, you just start correcting it and you start fixing it and you start saying, I work for God and not for people. And that changes you. And that gives you that extra ounce of courage to do things that you might not just do on your own. And then that's part of being a part of an accountability group. Like even in the word, it says, don't forget the habit of meeting together so you can encourage people. It's the same thing in business. Don't forget the habit of being part of groups and trainings and organizations and around people who can encourage your business purpose and what God has for you to do. See, guys, your kingdom purpose goals will dictate what you offer. See, the next thing you do is choose a quality offer based on the service you render. So part of that 10-week program, you're going to have a week where you're going to, people say, well, I'm very good at maybe baking cakes, but how would I turn that into a business? Well, if you look on TV, people do it all the time, right? Or I'm good at cooking. Like Rachel Ray just comes to mind of her cooking show. And I'm dating myself for some of you who might not even know who she is. But there's a way that you do the research to figure out what you're going to offer. And then you find out what the problem is that people are having. Like Rachel Ray had a very niche business. She helped people prepare a meal in 30 minutes or less. So who did that appeal to? That busy mom, that single person, that person who didn't have a lot of time and they wanted a good quality meal. That was her thing, 30 minutes or less. You may not even thought about that, but I want you to hear that. That was her niche. So that was part of her services. After you know what you want to do and what you specialize in, you then do the research and you survey the market to see what the problems people are facing and what solutions are profitable and or under service so that you can help them with. It's just like when they were spying out the land, 10 of them went out and only 2 of them came back with a good report. All 10 of them saw the same thing, but 8 was like, man, they're big, they're giants, they're going to crush us. And 2 are like, we got this, we can take them out. That's where the surveying comes from. But if your mind is not renewed and you don't have the right thoughts, you're going to see it like the 8 instead of like the 2. And that's that 80-20 rule, right? You have to make sure that before you even get to this stuff, that your mind is being renewed and is being transformed. You also need a financial consultant session to help you to decide if you need to raise capital or bootstrap it. So there's some, the Bible says be in debt to no man, right? So if you're building a business and you got to pay for training, or you need supplies or services, You need to have your website equipment. You need to have, all the things that you need. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming as to what you need, but guess what, there's ways that you can bootstrap it. I remember the very first month that we put, it was another same thing, but it was under eCourse U. We put that out the very first like 2 or 3 weeks. We like brought in 10 grand just by calling people, doing a presentation. When I did my very first online um, a challenge, within like from going through a 30-day challenge, that next month we were able to bring in 27 customers, absolutely knowing nothing about what we were doing, because we bootstrapped it and we had trainers who taught us exactly what to do. So I knew what I wanted to do. I knew why I closed down the offices that I had, because I wanted to reach people around the world and do the training. And then this is how it's grown over that period. It's gone from, just training to doing it with biblical principles. And it all makes sense when I look back on my life and everything that I've been through and all the businesses that I've had. The one thing in common that they all had is anytime that I was either going through something or something happened, I always went to God. I always went to the Bible, and even if it was by myself. And that's what got me through. And I never realized that it would turn into a business. So all of the things that you're facing is going to start making sense. So that's why you need that financial consulting session to know what you need to do, to know exactly what it looks like. Okay, if it's going to cost this amount of money, can I go to PayPal and do 6 months of financing? How much am I going to be charging? How much am I going to be looking at making in the business? Am I going to have to borrow the money, and do I have a plan to get it back? Or can I bring my products out and sell, or my service, and sell it at a discount and do beta testing? And that's what we did in the beginning. We did some beta testing and we gave people 50% discount. And then we took the money that was raised in that session to go ahead and utilize it to start advertising and doing other things. So I don't ever want you to think that money will stop you from doing what you need to do. And we talked about that in the last session, or the love of money, or money in general. That was the number one question that we dealt with, because so many people get stuck on parts of the scripture that talks about money. And when you really dive into it, anybody that Jesus used for a purpose, anybody that God used for a purpose, they had wealth. You're part of a kingdom that is already wealthy. Like, you got a wealthy daddy. So you should never want for any, like, none of us should ever want for anything. And if we are, then that's where we need to check ourselves, because we're not operating in the way that God wants us to operate. And then once you get that going, the next thing you want to do is develop an operating budget. And all of these are the little steps that we're talking about, and the goals that you need, and we just help you put it all together. See, you want to be inspired by your purpose and what God has for you. Your aspiration to accomplish your purpose in a way that is pleasing to God will help you become well equipped and prompt you to seek highly experienced or called kingdom coaches and business partners. So whether it's myself or whether it's someone else, you want to be working with someone who thinks from God's standpoint as well as business standpoint, right? And together you're going to build out your business, so you don't have to do any of this by yourself. And finally, your ambition to provide quality service leads you to all hire the right team that you're going to initially oversee in the development of a standard of excellence. Everything is about having a standard of excellence. Everything is about doing it for God and doing it the right way. Now, will it always come out right? No, but did you give it your best? Did you do everything that you could do in order to make that happen? And most people just dive in and they don't do the research, and that's why they have a lot of these challenges as they're building the business. So that's a big part of building your business, and that's a big goal that you set. Like, literally, our research document is about 25 pages deep that you're going to go through to make sure that you know exactly what you need to do. And when you look at the word, it goes into, it gives you details, it gives you numbers, it lets you know how many people were there, the cubic feet of stuff. You ever wonder that? You ever wonder why the Bible is so detailed about when they're building things or doing things or people getting saved? Because that's how you create success. That's how you make things happen. You have to have an order. And that's the same thing when it comes to your business. So whether it's your hiring manager or or anybody you employ, or maybe you got a sales team, everybody, if they know what the plans are and they're all doing it together, then they're all operating from the vision that God gave you, because you have it on paper and you can share that with the team, and you'll have those team meetings so that you can get things done and get things done the right way. So let me know if you're following me, if this is making sense to you. Some of your aha moments, you can go ahead and drop those in the comments. See, every decision that you make must be based off of your kingdom purpose to build a business first class, and one that is pleasing to God. That is so important. So important for you to do. And every goal that you have should be geared towards making your purpose come true. And each of these people, as each of the people become part of the kingdom management team for you, for your new corporation, for your new business, they also are charged with the responsibility of making their decisions based on the collective goal and the purpose of the company. See, no decision should ever be made because of something you want. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you've been one for a while, or you're a leader, that's a challenge we all have, right? We always want to do something the way we want to get it done. And one of the biggest things, you have to like give in and do work. You got to meet people where they're at and then take them where they need to go. I remember when I first got started, I had this big old long whiteboard, and I literally wrote, I would go inside groups or posts, and any question that somebody asked about business or anything, I would write out all of those questions. And then I would look for patterns to see how many people were asking the same questions. What were the biggest challenges? Because that was the problem, right? Let the people tell you what the problem is, and that's your way of attracting them in. And this is the same thing, because even when you're doing this, you don't think about that. You need a team to build the dream, right? So eventually it just can't be yourself. In the beginning, it might be, but eventually it can't just be yourself. So you have to, part of your vision that you're seeing is you want to see employees, you want to see teammates, you want to see boards, you want to see people there helping you, but you want to make sure that you're equally yoked with them. I remember when we started our daycare center, I had that for 5 years, and I had never, my niece wanted to have a daycare center. It wasn't something that I was interested in, but I was like, okay, well, we'll do it. And I went around to different daycare centers asking the owners, tell me about what you did, how you did it. And I just went and asked a ton of questions, and I found someone to show me exactly what to do. And then like the management skills and all of that, because I had managed people and trained people and all of that, that part came easy to me, but I had no idea about the laws or things that you needed to have, but I didn't let it intimidate me because I had a list, and then I found out the things that you needed to do, and we just checked them off as we got them done. If the problem arose, then the whole key thing was, okay, how can we fix it, and what was the worst case scenario? And those are little things that stop most people from proceeding forward, because they think, this is too big for them. Nothing is too big for God to handle, and nothing will stop you from doing what you need to do. See, no one can pursue their own agenda if it detracts from the overall purpose of the plan. So when you find yourself getting in your way, you gotta check yourself, right, on that. And no one will purchase stuff that does not meet the budget guidelines, or that is not completely safe and thorough. So all of these things are important when you're building your business. It's like, I build a business with biblical principles. So I spend a lot of time reading and studying and making sure that I don't take scriptures out of context, because people do it all the time. And I may not remember everything, and you get better as you do it, but that's part of the quality time. Are you willing to spend that time? So if you have a business where you're going to be consulting or you're going to be training someone, it's important for you to understand that business. If you're in a business like, multi-level marketing, or you're an affiliate, it's important for you to understand the compensation program. Like when I sold insurance, and one of the things that we always did was I read policies so that I understood when I went to educate the people on insurance or investments. I understood what I was talking about, not only my products and service, but other people's as well, so that you can share the knowledge that people need in order to make an informed decision. It can never be about you. We used to tell them, it's not about what we say, it's not about what they say, it's about what your contract says. So that's another thing that you have to ask yourself. Are you willing to put aside time to study your craft, even though it's your purpose? You think of King Solomon and Queen Sheba, when she went to King Solomon and just asked him question after question after question, she was like, what? She was wowed. She was so wowed that she didn't like, she paid him so much. Like, if it was in today's dollars, it would probably be in billions that she paid him, because she said all the knowledge that he had, and he asked God for the wisdom, right? Before anything else, before the money, he asked God to give me wisdom to be able to help people, because he was young, 14 years old, getting started. So you might be new in business, and I'm sharing this with you because that should be a goal of yours, is to understand your industry, to understand what you're doing, to know where you're at. You want to know salaries, you want to know benefits, you want to know the meaning of your company, you want to know who else is in your space. Or some people say your competition. We don't believe that you have competition, because what's for you is for you. But it's all of this stuff that every single day on your syllabus, you're going to have hours set aside. We do time blocking, that you're going to study just your business, just your industry. You're going to study people. You're going to know how to do lives. You're going to know how to sell, and have a conversation that's not like sales, but to have a conversation with people about what they want to do, and be able to consult with them and be able to help them, and to know everything. Yeah, I just want you to get that is just not about making money. It's about providing valuable service for God, because that's what he's calling you to do. See, every choice each person makes will fulfill your kingdom business purpose. So you have to not only make sure you're on point, but you have to have a team that's on point. And you have to have trainers who are training you that are on point. Individual purpose must be influenced by the overall purpose of what God wants you to do and for the company. No one aspect can be sacrificed for the other, or the company's reason for existing will be jeopardized. You just can't. You don't want to cut corners ever. You don't want to shortcut anyone ever. If you make mistakes, because we all do, you want to say that you made one, and you want to just make it right. And people will give you grace. They will. And if they don't, that's okay too. Some won't. So what? Some will. And you just keep going and let God direct that for you. Purpose affects everyone's selections. And that's the important part about doing something with purpose, building a business on God purpose. See, your kingdom purpose also serves as a guide for determining the best path to a predetermined end. So you may want to build something, and maybe you want to just figure it out yourself, but you know that it may take you a year or two to get it on your own. But if you go through someone who knows what they're doing, you can collapse your time frame. If you go through someone who understands how you think and what's most important to you, it's going to help you to be able to communicate with them. Like any great plan, it not only determines the destination, but also the best route of any given day to reach that destination. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They understand that time is a limiting thing for us. We don't have a lot of it. And so you got to know how to use that wisely. No kingdom business leader will build a business without a kingdom game plan. So you got to have a kingdom. You can have a business game plan, but you got to have a kingdom game plan. And before one gets started, they carefully must study the word. Number one, most important, the industry and other essential things that can help them establish the correct direct course to reach that predetermined decision. And we just talked about that. And so when they take action, they start every decision with them with both ends of it based on the journey and the intended path to reach the end. And unlike most teams who only have the vision of the final destination, the kingdom team knows both the final destination and, here's the key, y'all, the biblical way to reach that goal. Because what is it worth if you're going to lose your soul, if you're sacrificing everything for living the life that God wants you to live and for your eternal life? It's not even worth it. So you want to make sure that that's all part of your plan. The choices they make on the path to the kingdom destination will always be guided by kingdom purpose and the goals related to that purpose. See, goals will create your priority. Even as goals are directed by purpose, predicted choices, they also create priorities. If the new business sets the first, like for example, if your new business is set to start the 1st of September, and that's your target date that you're going to begin servicing people online, the team will need to focus all of their attention on opening up at that time, not at the end of the year. Everybody has to have a deadline. When you operate from a deadline, you do things differently, right? It's like if you're working for someone, you know that you got to put in 40 or 80 hours before they give you a check. You don't just show up that first day and like, okay, I want my money. It doesn't work like that unless you're working for yourself, right? The spirit of service and dates decided will be your priority. And all of the goals will include the objective of opening by the date that you selected. In that case, would be the 1st of September. Even the financial considerations of what you're going to spend on marketing, what you're going to spend on advertising, what you have to set aside, all of those will be prioritized as well. And they will create a purpose that will inform your goals, which will define your priorities. And that's why it's so important that kingdom purpose provides you with a measurement of progress. See, people aren't talking about this online because all they're thinking about is getting that business going and getting that business started. No, you got to think differently. You're thinking from a kingdom perspective, and you're doing it for a particular reason. And so when you're looking at each of those target dates, like as your master plan and the development plan passes, the executives are able to determine then how well they're progressing towards their goals. So if you know what you need to do and you know what you need to spend and you have that budget in place and you have those plans in place, then you can, every Friday, we call it follow-up Friday, right? You can say, okay, what did I get accomplished? What did I do that I said I was going to do? So every Friday, you're going to set your goals for the following week. You'll set your goals for a year. Then you'll break them down into the quarter. Then you'll break them down by month. Then you'll break them down by week. Then you'll break them down by day. But every day you can look at the end of the night, you can do a dump and say, okay, did I do what I said I was going to do today? We have you set up 3 priorities for each day. Did I get it done? If you didn't get it done, why didn't I get it done? What do I need? So if you're doing that, it allows you to course correct a lot quicker instead of looking up a month later and like, man, I didn't get anything done, because you don't know what you need to do, right? So you want to make sure that all of that is in place, if the deadline passes and the team has not yet procured everything needed to open up by the target date for your business, and you haven't done that from the beginning, that's where doubt comes in. This is what brings doubts into people's mind. This is what brings doubt into your mind, like this is not going to work. I always tell the story of when I did my first online business. I did a 30-day challenge, and I'll never forget day 27, because they had a list of everything that you needed to do. And so on day 27, we got on there and they were like, okay, so you guys should be making money. And I'm like, I ain't made no money. What do you mean we should be making money? And so that night I went back, because I'm like, if they're making money, I need to be making money, right? So I went back that night, and I went back through all 27 days to see if there was anything that I was missing and that I didn't do. I literally pulled an overnighter. Like, I didn't sleep for 24 hours because I was that focused. See, this is what happens when you're that focused on doing what you're saying you're going to do and being a person of your word and operating from what God wants you to do. I stayed up all that night to know what I needed to do, and I fixed it, right? So it was about 10 o'clock that morning that I finally fixed it. I put it out there on social media. I went upstairs, took a shower, came back downstairs, and literally my very first online, I had three, it was a $27 course, and I had $345 from 10 a.m. to 12. And so in about 2 hours, and I hadn't did anything to, like, I wasn't physically talking to anyone or doing anything. I just did what they told me I needed to do, and I made that happen. Now, had I not had that coach, had I not had that game plan, had I not pulled a 24-hour thing, I know that's not a word. I make up words. Y'all know that. I would have never did that. Had I let that doubt that set in my mind to say, you suck, you can't do this, you're not supposed to win at this, you'll never make it. Like, had I had those thoughts in my head, then I wouldn't have got it done. But this is why, when you know who God says you are and you live by that and you fix what's in you, it just helps you to get all the things done that you need to get. And I hope you're getting this part, because this is that subconscious mind. And we're going to do some training on that, how you need to transform your thoughts. All this stuff that we do, from setting up your websites to the pixels to the like, literally you can get somebody in fourth grade to do all of this stuff, right? But you got to have that mind, you got to have that heart, you got to have that desire to win, to be somebody, to do what God has called you to do in order to make all of this happen. If, however, you're doing all of this, just like, and everything's on track, or you get it back on track, it gives you more energy, it gives you more focus, and you want to get to that next step and to that next level, and you want to make it happen, and you get excited. It's like getting that first sale or that first yes. You're like, yes, if I got that first one, I know I can get that next one. And so you just go and you go and you go to make things happen. And that's why you got to get the right team with you, right? So that people can help cheer you on, so that you can cheer yourself on, that you know what you're reading, you know what scriptures you need to study, you know who you need to emulate, so that you can become who God needs you to become. See, a team with a kingdom vision, without a vision, will perish. You have to have that vision. Without goals guided by a kingdom purpose and the resulting vision, they would know that they are making progress. Like, how would you know if you don't have anything written down? And they also wouldn't have any idea whether that progress matches their plans for that specific time. So you have to be so detailed that on this date, here's what I should have done. On this date, this is where I should be. And if I'm not, what do I need to fix? What do I need to redo? Or maybe you need to get on the phone with me and we need to hop on Zoom and do a one-on-one to help you fix it. Like, whatever it is, you can move through the progress because we know it's possible, right? We're just taking you through the same steps that we've done with several businesses over the last 2 to 3 years to make that happen, and they all work. You just have to know the right ingredients to put into it. See, the value of these kingdom goals informed evaluations cannot be overemphasized, because life without specific measurable objectives is vague and haphazard. And you don't want to do anything that's vague and haphazard. You want to make sure that it's right. So if you want something predictable and you want to do it in the right perspective, and you want it to be visible, and you want it to happen in your business, in your life, you have to make the right choices. And obviously, when we look at the above description, the process of beginning a new business, it's very simplistic. Like, it is simple, but it's not, it's, we always say it's easy, but it's not always clear, and it's not always simple. It is meant to, so you got to have these plans in place. You got to have all of these underlying things that people don't talk to you about. It is meant to provide an understanding of the value of a known kingdom purpose. That's why we implement biblical principles in there, because you can go read a self-help book, right? And hopefully, or listen to something, and hopefully that can guide you. Or you can go to the creator, the person who made you, and you can see what he said about you, and then you can take that and use that to give you that extra ounce of courage in order to go out there and to be able to do the things that he has called you to do. See, known kingdom purpose will enhance all of your life, right? Not just your business life. It's going to enhance everything about you, all your business ventures, enabling you to make decisive decisions, and the intentional. You have to be intentional with whatever you do. Oprah Winfrey used to always say, before they have meetings, she used to walk in and say, what's the intent? What is the intent? If you have our planner, that's what it says for the day. What is your intention for today? What do you intend to get accomplished today? Like, people don't think of today. They think, oh, well, what do I intend to get accomplished for the year? But what do you intend to get accomplished for today? See, you got to be precise and deliberate about what you need to do and what's visible, and use Jesus' life as an example. He was precise. He knew exactly why God called him here. He knew exactly what he was to do. And when people tried to call him out of it, he's like, that's not what I was called here to do. Here is what I was called here to do, and here is what I'm going to do. That's how precise and specific you have to be about your business and your life. So I hope that brought you all tremendous value. I want you to join us next week. So, because we're only on question number 2, right? So we're going to do part 3, for the question number 3 on your business and how to discover your kingdom destiny and the things that you need. And guys, if you need help building your consultant business or a course business or a product business, you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com /start or /go and put your information in, or you can go to BibleBusinessAcademy.com and book an appointment with us, and we can help you determine what your kingdom purpose is, or what business it is that you want to start. So if you have any questions, you can go ahead and add those in. You can also call or text us. You can drop those questions in there now. If you have any, if you're catching this during the replay, you can drop your questions in. And also, if you want to get our slides, do me a favor. I'm going to give you our text number so that you can text me at 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ. That's 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ, and say slides, so that I can get those slides out to you. Or just text me there, and we'll text you a copy of them, or you can drop your email in there. We'll get those to you, or you can email me at info@CathyMcReynolds.com. So if you follow me on here, you know normally we have the slides, but we've been having technical difficulty, but we figured out a way to just make it work. I'm on my cell phone, slides are in front of me, and we're like, losing is not an option. We're going to come on here and we're going to make things happen. And when you get ready to book your call, you can go to calendly.com, call Cathy, or call us at 1-833-BIBLE-BIZ and set up a time to book an appointment with us. And I'm just seeing if we have, I don't see any questions out there. So let me know if you have any questions before we head off here. Let me see what we have here. I'm looking through the comments here, y'all. We'll show a few of them. We had a good evening from Jamie out there. So good evening, good evening. And Jackie's been very, very active with us. We appreciate that, Miss Jackie. So we'll show a few. Actually, I wanted to show this one right here. I'm on this phone, so I can only see a little bit. It says your next level is setting goals. Yes, that's a great reminder. Great reminder. And I think this one is important. I want to show this, what you said also. It's not about me. It's about what God wants me to do. You got that right. So, so true. And Jamie said, God is your best business partner. I love it, guys. Love, love, love it. So let me know if I don't see any questions. I won't hold you guys any longer. Make sure you let us know what you want to know more about. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those in there. If not, let me see if I can get back to okay, yeah, there we go. All right, we got it back there. All right, so we're learning the things on the iPhone as we're doing them. All right, y'all, I appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, and blessed day. Make sure if you want to take advantage of that summer sale, you do it now, 60% off, and that ends on July the 5th. So got a few more days to get that done. All right, we will talk to you later. Have a great day.